Let's welcome to the BS podcast, my good buddy, one of the hosts of now 24/7, the radio program Busted Open on SiriusXM. They have their own channel now, which is absolutely amazing. Bully Ray, how are you, my buddy?
What's going on, my brothers? How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good.
Look at all the people here tonight.
Rock and roll.
Yep.
I haven't really talked to you much about the Busted Open stuff since you guys went 24/7. Dude, let me tell you, and for those that don't know or don't listen, to the SiriusXM and wrestling talk with the show, from a radio personality, what they have been able to do is a mark in radio history, in my opinion. They've been able to take a niche like wrestling fans, which are diehard, it's a diehard community, get lightning in a bottle and make a not only successful show with intriguing personalities and good content, but they were able to create the ESPN Sports Center for the wrestling world on the radio when radio is doing absolutely fucking nothing different nowadays. Brother, that is awesome. Like, really amazing.
I appreciate you, brother. There's a scene in The Godfather 2 when Hyman Roth looks at Michael Corleone and he says, "Michael, we're bigger than U.S. Steel." And I say that not in an egotistical way, in a tongue-in-cheek, humorous way. Busted Open has become an absolute monster on SiriusXM.
Yeah.
Only number 2 behind Howard Stern in the numbers. We just were on our 3rd billboard in New York City, a billboard to ourselves for Busted Open and for the new name of the channel. It used to be called Fight Nation.
Yeah.
And under the Fight Nation name was Busted Open Radio. There was a MMA show. There was a boxing show. But the powers that be realized that the pro wrestling is what carried this station. And much like Vince McMahon realized a long time ago that pro wrestling fans were junkies for professional wrestling, and that's why he invented the WWE Network. Busted Open has now gone 24/7 with Pro Wrestling Nation, where you can hear original content basically almost every hour of every day, 7 days a week and twice on Sundays, as the Nature Boy would say. So, thank you for the props. It's going very, very well. Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 on channel 156 on SiriusXM is doing very well.
Yeah, and like I said, and I don't think, because you guys aren't radio nerds, right? I mean, I know LeGrec has been in the business more on the sports side of things throughout his career, but the rest of the cast, at least as far as Busted Open, the show goes, you're professional wrestlers that have become radio personalities. So from the radio nerd aspect of it, like, the business is so stale right now. I mean, like, it's the bottom of the barrel. No one is
wrestling business or the radio business?
Radio business. The radio business is so stale. No one is doing anything different. Companies aren't doing anything different. So, when I found out that you guys were about to do this huge explosion, I was like, it renewed my faith that there is possibility somebody still in the radio world that actually is willing to take a chance, because they're taking a chance. I mean, that's, you just blew out an MMA show. You just blew out it was Jerry and his partner doing the boxing stuff. So that's a huge chance that they're taking. That's money. That's a big risk. Somebody's ass is on the line for this. Radio doesn't do that anymore.
Sirius is not taking this kind of risk unless they know exactly what they're getting themselves into. And the fan base has told them everything that they needed to know. I'll never forget when I first started with SiriusXM and with Busted Open, the higher ups would always tell me, "Bubba, you don't understand. The fan base only listens for 7 to 8 minutes when they get in their cars every morning and drive to work." And I argued with the higher ups from day one. And I go, you don't understand. You're not in the radio business anymore. You're in the pro wrestling business. And pro wrestling fans will listen for 3 hours every day. And they laughed at me, laughed in my face, ha, ha, ha. You do not know what you're saying. You just got here. Keep your mouth shut. Nobody listens for 3 hours a day. You say didn't understand the pro wrestling fan base. Not only do our fans listen for 3 hours a day, brother, but our fans listen for 6 hours a day. They listen to the frickin' replay of the show. And I'm not just hearing this from one fan or two fan. This is a virtual myriad, a plethora.
A plethora. I like
if
that.
You will.
I will.
Myriad was pretty.
I will. It's a plethora.
Now, before we go any further, please reintroduce me to your co-hosts and your guests.
Okay. One of the hosts of one of the biggest radio programs in the country, if not the world, on SiriusXM with their own channel. He is part of the most decorated tag team of all time.
Not me.
Did you not catch that? He wants to know who the hell we are.
I said, who are your I don't care. I know who the hell I am. I don't need an introduction. And you probably botched my introduction anyway. Tell me who your co-hosts are.
That's Ben. That's Melissa. Meet Bubba.
Okay, bye.
Hi.
All right, we'll see you. Take
Hi,
care.
Ben. Hi, Melissa. How are you today?
Good.
I'm good. I did no research this time, so I can't screw it up.
I remember meeting Ben, but I've never had the absolute pleasure and honor of meeting Melissa. Hello, Melissa.
Hi. How are you, Bubba Ray? Melissa Fox here. Love you, mean it.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you, Melissa.
You're going to like this, just so you have a little background on Melissa. Melissa has been in the radio business longer than me. She is a true veteran, but most recently fired for third, fourth time. And her claim to fame is she's a former addict that has died twice on fentanyl and come back to life. But you must understand, it was one time she didn't get back on the drug. She died, came back. She died, came back.
So Melissa, you are the Nikki Sixx of this podcast right now.
Yes. I actually have a picture of him from that Hard Rock Vault, him and me.
Yeah.
Remember that?
You died twice?
They resuscitated me, and apparently, I was not really into it, and I died again. And they're like, oh, she coded again. Shit.
Good for you, sister, for sticking to your guns.
And the irony behind what you just said, Bubba, was that we're going to have Donna D'Errico on soon. So, Nikki Sixx's ex-wife. So we can talk about, I think he died prior to them getting married, but you guys will have something in common.
Dude, do you not know my Donna D'Errico story?
No.
You're about to.
Okay. All right. This is about to get so good. When you have Donna D'Errico on,
okay,
you have to have me on also.
Okay.
Not because Donna D'Errico is smoking hot balls, but because I woke up in bed with Donna D'Errico.
Really? How did that happen?
Fentanyl.
A lot. That's your claim to fame, girl. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, MTV was doing a show about beach houses on the Jersey Shore. And I think it was either the summer of 94 or the summer of 95. MTV shows up at my beach house at 7:00 in the morning, unbeknownst to me. And all I can remember is laying in bed, passed out after an amazing night of partying. And I feel this really hot thing on my face.
That's called morning breath.
It was just hot. I felt heat on my cheek and on my forehead. And as I started to come to, I realized there was a light on my head, and I knew I didn't die. I didn't drink enough the night before to die, so I knew I wasn't at the pearly gates, and I didn't hear St. Peter's voice. So as I'm coming to, all I hear is, wake up, honey, wake up. And as everything starts to come into focus, and I look up out of the fog, and the lights dim a little bit and the eyes clear, I realized Donna D'Errico is in bed with me.
Why?
Party.
Why not?
But was she with MTV or did you hook up with her the night before?
Dude, I would so love to be able to come on this show. I tell you that I hooked up with Donna D'Errico, but I don't lie about girls.
So how did she end up in your bed?
MTV was doing a show with Donna D'Errico.
Okay.
They came and invaded my beach house. I looked up at her and I went, "You're Donna D'Errico." And she put a bagel in my mouth. And I looked at her and the first words out of my mouth was, "How's Nikki?"
So, correct me. So Donna D, whatever her name is, what's her claim to fame? Being Nikki Sixx's wife?
Baywatch.
She was a Playboy playmate, Baywatch, Nikki Sixx's ex-wife.
That's that gal I
Anderson
met.
2.0.
Yeah, that was the gal I met with Nikki Sixx who hit on me. Yeah.
And so, okay. So, she was I was there at that night too, at the Hard Rock Vault, the opening night.
So she was there. That's the gal.
Yeah, she walked in. I believe she was wearing all white that night. If memory
serves. She was.
Smoke show.
Yeah, even still to this day. So she's actually coming on because she's like the first, or she has this AI version of her. It's like a sex line that you can go onto this website, pay X amount of dollars for whatever package, and the different packages have different things that she'll do, the AI version do. And like the middle package says, "We'll talk sexy," or something like that. So
don't mind me on my cell phone. I'm just signing up for the VIP Donna D'Errico package as we speak.
Will she remember you in that story if I bring it up?
Brother, this is why you need to have me on the show as a complete surprise, because I don't know if she'll remember me, but if she does, it will make for an amazing episode of your podcast, which is fucking amazing anyway.
Thank you.
You put a lot of bagels in mouths back then. So
what if she denies the entire thing? Do we have any video? Fuck her. Do we have any video proof of?
I was surprised.
Yes, there is video proof. That's an entire episode of like MTV Beach House or MTV whatever. It was in 90. It has to be summer of 94 or summer of. I have the pictures of myself, brother. Now it's not. Now I'm not asking you. I'm telling you.
Okay, so I don't know if you're going to be available.
I will make myself available
tomorrow morning, but it's
tomorrow morning. I got a nationally fucking syndicated radio show from coast to coast, from Bangor to Bakersfield and every city in between. And now tomorrow morning.
So that's
take a minute.
Reschedule.
So I can't. So here's how we'll do this: is that you're going to tell Dave LaGreca, "Hey, look, during the show at 9:10, we are going to pop on to my buddy." Well, he knows I am.
Wait, 9:10 Eastern?
Eastern,
yes.
Yeah.
So no bueno for me, brother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're gonna syndicate it on Busted Open. That's the best radio bit. That's what you do. You syndicate it on Busted Open, or simulcast. You do Busted Open and you do the podcast at the same time. That's one of my best bits that I ever did when I called another radio station next door when Jewel was on there because she wouldn't come on my show, and I interviewed her on another radio program. Great.
What is the official name of your podcast right now?
This is the BS, the Bailey Show podcast, but I've created the BPX, the Bailey Podcast Exchange. So
okay.
I have 3 different shows, 5 days a week, one feed. I do Honey, I Raised the Kids. I released that on Monday with Rach. We talked about becoming empty nesters in our second lives. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the BS. And then I just started a new one called the Vinyl Road podcast with Brad Stewart, who's the bassist for the band Saliva, who you're familiar with, obviously. And the original bassist for Shinedown. Also, he was in Fuel talk rock and roll, his stories from the road, that kind of stuff. Pretty cool.
Was he playing bass for Saliva at WrestleMania 18 when they played us out?
No, those were the Josie Scott days, Yep. So you had.
Well, then screw him. I don't like him anyway.
Brad's great, dude.
Brad's
awesome.
I'm kidding, man.
He's a good dude.
So here's what I'm going to try to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but when we go to commercial break tomorrow morning on Busted Open at around 9:25,
okay,
I'm going to try to slip in.
Okay, well, so
I'm going to slide into Donna D'Errico's DMs. Slide into your podcast.
Yeah, so I have her for 30 minutes. Yeah, so my booker books my people for 30 plus minutes. They usually want to stay longer because I'm just damn good.
Dude, imagine she remembers me and she's like, "Oh my God, I've been thinking of you since that day."
That's some rip-off material right there. That's all that is, brother. All that was just a rip-off.
I love it. You don't have to tell me twice. I love shit like this, so I think it's great. Yeah, just use the same link and pop in, and I'll stop whatever I'm talking about and bring you on.
Done deal.
Yeah, that'll be cool. So yeah, that episode will be airing in a week. So, all right. So obviously you've spent a lot of time on Busted Open talking about the death of Hulk Hogan. You were very close with Hulk Hogan, especially your days in TNA, obviously, with the biggest, arguably, storyline that TNA wrestling ever had was with Aces and Eights, and that involved Hulk Hogan and Brooke Hogan at the time. So when you heard of the news, Hogan passing away at 71, where were you at? What were you thinking?
I was very sad to hear the news, as everybody was that was close to Hulk, a part of Hulk's life, friends, professionals. I've gone on record to say that Hulk Hogan is not on Mount Rushmore. Hulk Hogan is Mount Rushmore. Hulk Hogan is the be-all and end-all when it comes to professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Without Hulk Hogan, there is no sports entertainment. WrestleMania was invented and named because of Hulkamania. Hulkamania came before WrestleMania. Hulkamania was running wild in Minnesota and the Pacific Northwest in the AWA territory before Hulk ever came to the WWF back in the day. Hulkamania was a thing, but Vince McMahon lured him over, and Hulkamania became a worldwide thing, a worldwide entity, a worldwide label, a worldwide name. And Hulkamania gave birth to WrestleMania. Hulk is a big, big deal in our business. He's one of the most recognizable faces on the planet, not just in pro wrestling, on the planet, period. The president, the Pope, Hulk Hogan.
Right.
So it's a huge loss for the wrestling community. And I think as the days and the weeks go on, we're going to feel it more and more. I do understand the controversy that came with Hulk's name because some of the things that he did or said in the past.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge that and I understand that. But I'll be damned if my brother Devon did not take to social media and say it best. And I can't even sum up what he said because it was like a 4-page tweet. But basically what Devon said is, this is Hulk Hogan. He's the be-all and end-it-all. He was born again, forgiven for his sins. And Devon, as a man of the cloth, understands that there's no greater strength than forgiveness. When I see Devon come out and speak about Hulk Hogan, I see Mark Henry come out and speak about Hulk Hogan and all the positive things, it's very reassuring to me. Did Hulk Hogan fuck up? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did he say things that offended people? Absolutely. But you know what? You can commit murder in our country and go to jail for 25 years. And when you get out, society gives you another chance.
Right.
And I think that what Hulk Hogan said 20 years ago, although 1,000% wrong, he deserved a second chance, especially in death.
Yeah. I saw this black guy on Twitter address what Hogan said. And I guess, you know, he was recorded. It was a private setting. He dropped the N-bomb numerous times, says he doesn't want his daughter, you know, dating, you know, an N-bomb unless he's got money or something like this. And this black guy goes on Twitter and he's like, you trying to tell me, motherfuckers, that you don't want your daughter with a white guy unless he's got cash too? He just like rips into it going, there's some truth to it. Here's what I thought was interesting. And this is just a small sample size. And this is not just only from professional wrestlers that I'm seeing their comments on Hogan, the negative ones, right? Or the not so nice ones, I should say. But also people in my feed. It's a generational thing. You know, the Gen Xers and kind of older for the most part just recognized Hulk Hogan for what he was to them in their childhood. And if you're a wrestling fan, what he did to the business. The younger generation, who's not maybe so much familiar with it or can appreciate it, maybe has that kind of, you know, that very blue mindset of, you know, it's like, oh, everything's got to be new, man. You got to redo the Constitution. The First Amendment needs to be rewritten, man. Everything's got to be new. They have that mindset. So they're the ones that are spewing this negativity. And it's a mindset. It's split down the middle. You know, it's this, that certain generation that we have that fucked everything up for the rest of us for the most part. You know, these are the ones that are like, hey, dude, it's okay. You don't have to sign up to be a citizen. Come on in. I don't care if you're a murderer. It's the same kind of mindset. You know, I don't mean to go political, but I'm just basing it off of what I've seen and who these people are. And then I go through their feed and I look at some of the people that they admire and I'm going, and also, mind you, the mistakes that they've made in the past. Oh, one time you were a druggy alcoholic slut. Am I supposed to hold that against you for the rest of your life? So when you die, I'm going to be like, it's really sad that you died. But you know what? At one time, like 40 years ago, you were a druggy alcoholic slut. People are hypocrites. And I think a lot of the people that are hating on Hogan's death are hypocrites because everybody screws up. You know?
There are so many hypocrites on social media who are chasing the hug, chasing the approval of their like-minded followers, chasing the retweet, chasing the quote tweet, chasing the like.
Yeah. I saw you got into it with somebody on Twitter. You told them just fuck off.
I got into it with a couple of people on Twitter, not because I want to get into it with people on Twitter, which is just it's a lose-lose. Yeah. But I will defend my industry, and I will defend what is right. And if you have an opinion on Hulk Hogan and what he said, and you don't agree with what he said, I can understand and appreciate that, and I'm very open-minded to your opinion. But when you start trashing this man just because you want people to jump on your bandwagon on social media, it doesn't fly with me. Yeah. I defend my industry. I defend the people that came before me in my industry. I have a lot of respect for my business. Hulk Hogan, without Hulk Hogan, I don't know if this business is as big as it is today. There has never been a bigger star before Hulk Hogan. There's never been a bigger star after Hulk Hogan. Steve Austin is not a bigger star than Hulk Hogan.
No.
The Rock is not a bigger star than Hulk Hogan. Do you know how I know The Rock is not a bigger star? No. Because The Rock said so on his social media.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan is responsible for popping so many territories. He's responsible for so much that no others can say that they were responsible for.
And there's things that he did that people don't realize, you know, like Ted DiBiase told a story about how, you know, he did a favor for Hogan early in his career And then Hogan said, one day I'm going to get you back. And then, if you remember listening, if you're a wrestling fan, there was that whole Ted DiBiase and Andre the Giant. And then there was this feud and this storyline that was Hogan repaying the favor and bringing DiBiase back, main eventing pay-per-views, which is, tons of money. And that was the favor returned. And people don't realize that old school, he's returning that favor.
I know what I was told before I met Hulk Hogan, but I will always go by my interaction with somebody. My interaction with him since day one, personally and professionally, has always been absolutely amazing. What he did for me on a professional level did not have to do. What he did on a personal level did not have to do. This guy, at the end of the day, wanted to drink beer with his fellow wrestlers, tell stories, have a couple of laughs, and have a good time.
Yeah.
That's all I know of the guy.
Right.
And I have personal experience with him. Everything that I heard about him, about big leaguing or selfish or burying guys, never happened with me. Actually, the exact opposite. And there was a very specific night that I can always point to. We were in England in front of about 15,000 people. And me and Hulk, we were in a company called TNA back at that time, Impact Wrestling, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. And we used to do the ramp to the ring, the elevated ramp to the ring. Think about like an AC/DC concert where Angus would walk from the stage on the elevated ramp all the way to the middle of the arena.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have that ramp that went all the way to the ring. And one night after the match or the segment was over, me and Hulk are face to face on that ramp. People are going absolutely crazy. And I felt that we had gotten a little too close to one another. So as the younger wrestler, as the bad guy, I backed down and I started to slowly walk away from him. When we got back into the dressing room, he sat me down and in a very stern yet low tone way, low volume way, said to me, "Don't you ever back down from me again."
Brother.
And I was like, I was blown away. I'm like, okay. He goes, "Do you understand why?" I was like, "No, tell me." And he said, "Because I'm here to make you. Don't you ever back down from me again." Dude, that is the be-all and end-it-all of the pro wrestling business, telling me to never take a step backwards from him because he wanted to use his character, his persona, and his aura to make mine bigger.
That's crazy that you just told that story, because I was getting ready to bring it up. You told me that story years ago and I've always remembered it. I didn't think it was that big of a deal for you. It's like, as a fan, as your friend, I thought it was an awesome story. You tell me a bunch of stories. I think it was great, but that's crazy. Like, before you told the story, in my head, I'm going to ask him about that story and see. In my head, I'm going, I wonder if he's going to remember that story. That's crazy that was that big of a deal for you, because that's huge to have Hulk Hogan say that.
I don't even know the right word. Huge doesn't do it justice. I could say huge on your show where people can kind of wrap their head around it. It's beyond huge when you understand the scope of my industry, our industry, and when you're having a character of that level, a man, a performer, a wrestler of that level telling you, "Don't you ever back down from me again." But that's what I'm supposed to do, Hulk. I'm the bad guy. You're the good guy. I'm supposed to back down from you. Nope. Not in this situation. You're not. You stand your ground.
That's crazy. Do you think, you had said earlier in this conversation that it's not going to end? Do you think the WWE will continue to recognize his death, or is it just the 10 bell salute? They all came out, which was very well done. I thought Tony Schiavone did a good job with AEW. Is there more to salute him, or is it done and you move on?
I think I think WWE did a great job in honoring Hulk Hogan, as they should have. Without Hulk Hogan, WWE is not where they are today. Vince McMahon can be the smartest guy, the mastermind, the genius. But if he doesn't have Hulk Hogan to pump it all into and put him out there, they have zero. So I think WWE did a great job, and I commend all of the wrestling companies that, despite the perception of Hogan these days, from what he said 20 years ago to his political affiliations today, I commend all wrestling companies for acknowledging him in whatever way, shape, and form that they did, to say thank you and our condolences for the greatest professional wrestler / sports entertainers that ever lived. Whether or not it goes farther than that, I don't know. I was very happy to hear that all of the wrestling crowds welcomed the condolences with open arms.
Yeah, last time he was on WWE television, he was booed.
They were in California.
Yeah.
They were in Los Angeles. I think it's a very politically motivated crowd. I don't bash anybody for their politics. You can be a Republican. I can be a Democrat. We can vice versa, blah, blah, blah. I might vehemently disagree with you until the end, but that's your political view.
Right.
I'm not going to hate your guts for it, as people do today, which is, it's crazy. Abhorrent.
Yeah.
It's fucking abhorrent.
Yeah.
I remember growing up as a kid and watching the debates, whether it was Carter and Reagan and Mondale and Clinton and Obama, whoever was like, all right, I might not agree with you, but I don't hate you and wish death on you.
Right.
My dad came over from communist Italy. He understands what it's like to be under the thumb and under the rule of one dictator. And he taught me, you might not respect or like the guy that's in office, but you always respect the office of the presidency.
Yeah. They saw Coach Harbaugh with the Ravens. He was trying to get set up the other day with a question, John Harbaugh. And he was like, they're trying to set him up of going to, and he just handled it so perfectly. He's like, and then he went to talk about the different presidents with different political affiliations that he's gone to visit as well. And that reporter was just like, God, you look stupid, right? Like, just really, because everybody, it's all, there's always an ulterior motive, and you're trying to trip somebody up. And, it's like the old days of trying to get dirt on everybody, with the early stages of TMZ. And it's mind blowing.
The gotcha question.
The gotcha questions. Do you think that a lot of the responses from the professional wrestling community on social media, they were all heartfelt, or do you think some of them were business, where they felt that they had to say something as positive as they could, even though in the past they've said some pretty negative things?
It's very easy to decipher on social media who's full of shit and who's not.
Yeah.
I can read right between the lines of a politically correct tweet and what's heartfelt.
Right.
I read some heartfelt tweets.
Yeah.
I read a lot of politically correct, well-worded tweets.
So
where if anything ever came up, somebody could go, well, I didn't really mean that. What I meant was this. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read
There's your little clip for social media, by the way. Fuck you.
Yeah, I read a bunch of those too. And I was surprised.
Stand by your beliefs. This is a guy. If you can't separate what this guy did for our industry as opposed to some of the mistakes he made, Hulk Hogan didn't make Chris Benoit-esque mistakes.
Right.
Yeah, that's a different story entirely. Does anybody know why Hulk took to the color yellow?
Oh, there's a amazing story by him about him adopting the colors red and yellow. You never heard it?
No.
As a kid, that was his favorite colors.
Oh, okay. Because my first introduction to him was Honeycomb's big. Yeah. Remember when he pitched Honeycomb, man? That was awesome.
He just loved those colors as a kid.
I had no idea. It was like it was was it Mighty Mouse or somebody there yelling red, maybe something like that. You always wondered, if, it's crazy because out of all the, times I've been around the business, whether it's with you and, working the radio side with WWF and the WWE, I don't think met Hulk Hogan once. Never met him once. I never met the guy. I'd walk by him at TNA all the time. Never backstage. Easily could have said something. Never met him once. Never, because I didn't want to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Here's something very interesting. I met Hulk Hogan when he came back to the WWE in 2001, 2002.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember meeting him for the first time.
Really?
Zero recollection of meeting Hulk Hogan. Zero recollection of saying hello, shaking his hand, any conversation. Zilch, nil, nada, zero.
Yeah.
None. I do remember being in one of the press boxes at WrestleMania in Toronto and watching Hogan versus Rock in what is, in my opinion, the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. But I don't remember ever meeting Hulk in WWE. I only remember meeting Hulk in TNA.
Really? Did he remember meeting you?
I really don't know.
Oh.
I remember so little about that. But once we started to get involved business-wise, I remember everything.
Right. Yeah. Ben, you got a question?
I met him a couple of times in a couple of different places over in Tampa. And I can say from my experience with him, he was absolutely one of the most available superstars I've ever seen to his people. He was completely willing to take a picture, sign an autograph, whatever.
Well,
awesome.
Again, as a fan growing up as a kid, and you'd make sure you were in front of that television on Saturday morning to watch WWF, right? And in those days, Hogan only wrestled the big matches, the big, this and this and that, right? And so, when I got to go to the Capitol Center and watch wrestling, and a lot of times Hogan wasn't even on the live shows. It was a treat to see Hogan live wrestle. I mean, he was the specimen of all specimens. And then on Saturdays when you're watching, he's most likely not going to have a wrestling match, right? But they would have a clip. And that would be like the highlight, even though the match that you're watching is, Ricky Steamboat, Tito Santana, or whatever the case may be, and you still were excited about it. Like, man, Hogan, that's how big he was, is that he was saved for special occasions, and then that changed, obviously, main event became the curtain jerker and it just everything changed over the years. But as a kid, he was just larger than life. And that's all I'll remember. I mean, seeing him backstage at TNA, I'm just like, oh, that's Hulk Hogan.
The first time I ever hung out with him on a true personal level outside of the wrestling business, he said to me, if you're ever in Clearwater, please get in touch with me. I'll meet up. So me and my buddies were in St. Pete Beach. We were going to take the drive up to Hogan's Beach Shop. We're going to go visit Hulk. Called the whole nine yards. Bubba, I'll meet you at the restaurant at like 4:00. It was late afternoon, early evening. We met up at approximately 4. He sits at a table with us. I'm probably with about 6 of my friends. Sits at a table with us in the middle of his restaurant. He could not be any more on display than he was. We hung out at that table from 4 p.m. to probably 11 p.m. that night.
Jesus.
Now, we're in Hogan's restaurant. Everybody came over to that table.
Mm-hmm.
Autograph, picture, some kind of story, whatever. This man is eating, drinking, conversating with a bunch of other grown adults. He's on personal time. Every single person that came to that table got an autograph or a picture with him.
That's cool.
It was impossible to have a conversation with him. Dude, every 2 to 3 minutes he was getting interrupted. And you have to understand something. People they go to Hogan's place, right? Oh my God, maybe we'll see Hulk Hogan. Oh my God, maybe we'll see Hulk Hogan. They show up. Oh my God, there's Hulk Hogan.
Right.
I don't want to go over there. I don't want to go over there. I'm scared to go over there. I don't want to interrupt. I'm scared. And then they see somebody walk up and the fucking floodgates open.
Right.
And now everybody is just online waiting. He smiled. He was accommodating. He did whatever was, and I'm witnessing this guy that I have heard stories about being as accommodating, if not the most accommodating I've ever witnessed in my life.
Really?
People are asking me for pictures. I'm like, get the fuck out of my face.
I've been at that table a couple of times. Very uncomfortable, by the way.
I saw him in very personal situations where people would not want to be bothered for certain, and he would still, come on up, brother.
Consummate baby face, hero, icon. Nobody got turned away. That's why I can never say a bad word about the guy. Yes, I heard the tape where he said words he should not have said. Just like every other fucking human being on the planet has done or said something they should not have done or said.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. He came by the radio station where I worked at. I can't remember if it was Changeover or New Wrestling TV show or something he was doing, but he actually bench pressed me like 5 times to the ceiling. Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, that's good. Nope, going up again, brother.
You did that to you too? I thought that was my bit.
Well, man, Ben, jeez, we share a lot, don't we?
That was good. I would love to have been bench pressed by Hulk Hogan. That would have been
pretty fun. Yeah.
What about Ozzy? You know, you're a big rock lover. Ozzy, this is a rough week. I mean, for Gen Xers, dude, Malcolm Jamal Warner and Theo Huxtable, and then you get Ozzy, and then you get Hogan. We were talking before he came on, and I was kind of, Hogan was a surprise, right? I mean, we kind of saw the Ozzy thing coming, which softened the blow a little bit. I think for most people, even though it's still tough to think that we're living in a world without Ozzy Osbourne. But Hogan, nobody saw coming. And so with Ozzy, how'd you take that one?
I kind of looked at it in the same way I was forced to look at losing my mom and dad.
Really?
Yep. My mom died a very slow, painful death from cancer, to the point where we watched her go down to 4 breaths a minute, where we were like, go already, check out, go hang out with Jesus, it's cool, bye, Mom.
Yeah.
As opposed to my dad, who dropped dead of a heart attack in the middle of the woods with his hunting dogs by his side and his rifle in his hands.
Yeah.
So I get, I see both of them. Like the Ozzy thing, we saw it coming. Ozzy was not in good shape.
Right.
Ozzy was struggling. He was in the later stages of Parkinson's. It was hard. Some of the Instagram videos that I had seen that had leaked, I'm just like, oh my God, I felt so bad for Ozzy. Like to see another human being shaking out of control like that. And this guy he's got plenty of money. He's got the best medicine money can buy. And he's still shaking the way he is.
Yeah.
That, that illness, that disease had a grip on him. To see him go on that stage, to hear about the story about him coming off the pain pills so he could sing for his audience one last time. So he wasn't in a fog, so he wasn't in a haze, so he could feel it. And to see him try to get out of that chair, tried so hard. I don't give a shit that Ozzy didn't get out of that chair, because all I did was see Ozzy try to get out of that chair.
Mm-hmm. Well, supposedly, somebody that we both know was contacted about a year ago and by Jack and asked if they could help Ozzy, because Ozzy said, I'm not going to do the show unless I'm standing up.
I don't even know who the person was. By just hearing that sentence, I know who the person was. And if that person couldn't help Ozzy, that's how fucking bad Ozzy was. Because the person that you're speaking of can help just about anybody. And that person is Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah. So I don't know if it ever went through or not, but he was just kind of telling me that they were having conversations, but Dallas is like that with everybody. It's like, hey, look, if you don't want to help yourself, I can't help you. Don't waste my time. Which I was thinking, I tried to send him somebody one time, for wherever I was at doing radio. And he's like, I talked to your guy. He doesn't want to get help. I was like, okay. He's like, radio bit's done. I said, okay, yeah, cool. Got it. I can't waste my time. That's pretty cool.
But I was so happy to see, like, it, I think that the rock and roll gods knew exactly what they're doing. I think Lemmy knew exactly what he was doing. He said, Ozzy, you're going to go out for one more time, mate. You can fucking tear the house down, and then you can come up here and drink some Jack and Cokes with me, mate. We have a great time.
Yeah. It was also, I wasn't familiar with the artist Yungblud at all, but I guess Ozzy's kind of anointed him the new Ozzy. And I started following this guy on social media. I know I'm probably dating myself, but I'd heard of him, but I wasn't familiar with his music. One, he just absolutely crushed changes. But two, if you get to know this guy by his social media, which he allows you to do, he's cool as shit and like really, really fucking talented. And you see these videos of he and Ozzy backstage and talking, and you see the respect, as you're talking about Hogan and you with Hogan and the respect, everything that you've done in that business. And you're sitting across Hulk Hogan like a school kid going, yes, sir. What am I supposed to do? Yungblud was like that in front of Ozzy, even though Yungblud's selling out, arenas. He could go off and be an arrogant putz, but he's just loves Ozzy Osbourne. That's the reason he got into the business, was because of Ozzy Osbourne. And then to watch the video of Ozzy meet Paul McCartney, you learn a lot about somebody after they die. You learn more about somebody after they die. And he's meeting Paul McCartney for the first time after Ozzy's been Ozzy. I mean, I think this was even after Sabbath. And he's like, I got to meet my hero. And you're like, Ozzy Osbourne's got a hero. Of course, everybody's.
That was on Stern, wasn't it?
No,
it was on Stern.
No, it was just backstage at something. I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't during Stern. No, it was just
seeing. I'll get to the McCartney stuff first. Seeing Ozzy turn into a little kid, meeting McCartney, it's just surreal, because it just reminds us of we're all just normal human beings at one point who looked up to somebody, and that person for Ozzy was McCartney. And Ozzy was just so happy. And he was like, I listened to you then, and you were such an influence, and thank you for this, and thank you for that. And you're like, this is fucking Ozzy. This is the lead singer of the greatest metal band of all time, bowing down, bending the knee to Paul McCartney.
Right.
It was a big deal. And then you mentioned Yungblud.
Yeah.
I don't know when this episode is airing, but I can guarantee you, as of this second right now, and as of whenever this episode airs, I don't know who the fuck Yungblud is.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you one Yungblud song.
Right. Me neither.
I never gave a shit about Yungblud until I saw the video of him and Ozzy backstage.
Giving him the necklace.
Dude, I'm in the pro wrestling business. What we do is we make you feel. We make you care. We touch your emotions. We take you on a ride. We make you love. We make you hate. We make you laugh. We make you cry. I can make you feel anything I want you to feel at any given moment. I'm a fucking psychologist and a magician. I can toy with you at any moment. And they had the hook in my mouth. Because to see the interaction between Yungblud and Ozzy and how endearing it was, how special it was, how genuine it was, how raw it was, I was like, I like this guy.
Like, love this guy.
I don't know who he is. I don't know what he sings, but I like him. You know why I like him? Because Ozzy likes him. And because he was so respectful, just like in the wrestling business, come off respectful, you're halfway home.
Yeah.
He bowed down before Ozzy. Ozzy accepted him. Ozzy gave him advice, accepted the gift, told him to conquer America.
Yeah.
This is not Axel. This is not Nikki Sixx. This is not Lars. This is not Tom Araya. This is not Morello. This is not Zach. This is a nobody.
Yeah.
To me. But Ozzy is treating him like an equal.
Yeah.
Dude, I was blown away.
Yeah. I started following him on social media after that. I was like, dude, who is this guy? And the way he talks he's just cool. Like, he's not out after anybody. He just appreciates what he's got. You know, he's got an agenda with the ticket business. You know, he's part of that crew that's like, I don't want you guys to pay a lot of money for the tickets and doing all that kind of thing. He's just a cool dude. I'm like, I'm a fan. I love this guy. I don't know who he is, but I don't know what he sings, but I'm going to start listening to your shit, dude. I started listening to it at the gym and I'm like, it's pretty damn good. It's rock and roll. And that's what he does. He plays rock and roll. So
I posted something on Instagram today, and whenever your listeners get to hear this, they can go back and check it out. You know, this whole AI thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I love it or I hate it, but today I loved it. There was a video posted of Ozzy meeting Lemmy in heaven,
right,
meeting John Lennon in heaven,
yeah,
Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Randy Rhoads, Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about Dio.
And with Mama, I'm Coming Home in the background. And I know it's AI generated, but it was to see the smiles on their faces. I know it's fake, but for a moment in time, I wanted to believe it was real, that they're all so happy right now to see each other, especially Ozzy and Lemmy and Ozzy and Randy Rhoads.
Right. Yeah. The wrestling ones get me, you know, when they have the, you know, Roddy Piper, Dusty Rhodes, and what they would look like, you know, at their age now today. And I mean, they're so well done. I can't even look at them. You know, it's just, it makes it gets me, you know, it gets me. I'm sitting there going, what the shit? I got stuff to do up here. I can't get hooked into these videos and get emotional. You know,
dude, emotions are for the weak.
Yeah.
But I'll be damned if I wasn't weak in the knees when I saw these videos. Right. I'm like, I'm not crying. You're crying. Get those fucking onions out of my house.
Damn allergies. All right. I'll let you go, dude. Thank you for coming on. I'll text you here in a little bit and I'll tell you about the Donna D'Errico stuff.
No, you will text me when Donna D'Errico is on with you. And if I can slide in.
Okay. Well, I mean,
tomorrow morning.
Wink.
I'm going to tell you when she's on, but I'm going to be in the middle of doing the show. So, I mean, like,
Don't care.
I know you don't care. All right.
I'm going to come in and I just want you to go, hey, Donna, you see that guy on screen? You see that ruggedly handsome man with the super sexy swinging sounds of his sandpapery smooth voice? Do you know who that is? I was like 402 pounds, by the way, when I woke up with her in my bed.
Wow.
A lot different from the ripped, chiseled, and jacked 275 I am right now.
Because you got to get back to that ring, right? That's what you got to get ready.
Got to get ready. Got a big match.
That was all from the waist
Dudley's
down.
one last time. Bound for Glory, Boston.
Yeah. What is that? What is that match? What day? What month? Is that coming up soon?
October, Boston. Actually, October, Lowell, Massachusetts. TNA Wrestling. Bound for Glory. Hardy's, Dudley's one last match.
Okay. WWE didn't want anything to do with that.
It's not a WWE thing. I don't think it would have ever happened in the WWE. It would have been awesome to do it in the WWE. I'm happy it's not happening in the WWE because it allows all four of us to do what we want to do, go out the way we want to without Big Brother watching over our shoulder.
Mm-hmm. This will be done for the saga of the Dudleys and Hardys, but not done for you as your career, right?
This is for the fans. The Hardys and the Dudleys are the last of the Mohicans, the last two great decorated tag teams on planet Earth. It's not me stroking my ego. That's just the way it is. And 25 years ago, in January of 2000, the Hardys and the Dudleys got together for the first time in Madison Square Garden. The first ever tag team tables match. And we stole the show.
Yeah.
25 years later, we're going to wrap it all up. We're going to 360, get back to where we started, and we're going to end it as far as this tag team rivalry. You'll never see the Hardys and the Dudleys in the ring ever again. This is for all of the fans that grew up on us. This is for all of the fans that want to introduce their kids to us. This is just to make everybody feel good again. Mm. This is not a 5-star match. This is a 5-star story. This is a 5-star culmination to the two greatest tag teams that walk on God's green earth today.
This isn't a Kiss Farewell concert, right? You guys aren't going to do this again next year.
No, there will be no this. You know, I get the joke. I can appreciate it. But there is no one more time after this. This is it.
What about WWE? If you have one last match in WWE, who would it be with?
The WWE is not going to have one last match with us. And if it was in WWE, there really wouldn't be. If you put a gun to my head,
yeah,
my last match in the WWE would be against the Usos or the New Day.
Right.
Because when me and Devon went back to the WWE in 2015,
mm-hmm.
the day we came back, the day after our comeback in the Barclays Center, we sat in Vince McMahon's office. Me, Devon, and Vince, knee to knee, as close as you can get to another human being. And Vince said, here's what I want you to do. For the next year, you're going to get the New Day over, you're going to get the Usos over, and you're going to get the Wyatt family over. That's what I need from you. My boss told me directly to my face what my job description was.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to go back and do it one last time with one more team that was there,
mm-hmm.
it would be the New Day or the Usos.
Yeah, I remember that. That was cool. I remember you going back, and that pop that night was like real loud. Which
you can't stop rock and roll, and you can't stop the pop of the Dudley Boys.
There you go. All right, brother. Thanks for coming on. I will see you very soon with Donna D'Errico.
Right. I'll see you tomorrow morning with Donna.
All right, dude. Later.
Oh my God, I hope she remembers me.
So do I. So do I. Or I got to find out how to navigate.
You know what? Either way, it's going to make great radio.
Yeah,
I got a fiber on it.
And by the way, don't feel like you can't on your extremely very popular, large, worldwide syndicated radio show, Busted Open on SiriusXM, say, hey guys, sorry, I just got back from my buddy Jason Bailey's podcast, jasonbailey.com. You got to listen to what I just did, jasonbailey.com. Subscribe Tuesdays and Thursdays, sub episode, jasonbailey.com. Feel free to do that on your show, by the way.
So why don't you just put out a tweet talking about jasonbailey.com and the BS, whatever you call it. Why don't you just put out a tweet?
Okay. And you just retweet it.
Yeah. And I can just retweet it, dude.
So much easier. That's fine. I'll do that.
Okay, great.
Right. See you later, dude.
Oh, P.S. Tell your wife I said hello.
All
right, bye.
All right, bye. See ya.
That was fun.